Word on the street is that the new 2024/2025 Dodge Charger, which is EV, is going to get a V8. Now, this is much appreciated news by us enthusiasts, because I don't know if I can handle more bad news today, because today I almost blew my caught myself. Transmission. I almost blew the transmission in my truck. And I can't handle more news about EVs killing classic muscle cars. So unfortunately, I've been lucky enough to get behind the wheel of the new and improved, depending on who you ask, EV Dodge Charger, which currently is only in a two-door form for 2024. 2025, we will supposedly see a four-door version. I do like the look of the two-door. I'm not going to lie, it is a pretty good-looking car from what I can see so far. I was a massive fan of the four-door in the last generation, and it's kind of too bad that they went away with that body style. I would have liked to see it stick around for a bit longer. That being said, in case you haven't heard, the new EV Charger is 5,600 pounds. Oh my god, that is insane! Like, they just stuck 1,000-pound weight in the trunk of the car. Like, that is crazy weight for an EV car of all things. A sedan, coupe, whatever you want to call it. Significantly heavier than anything Tesla makes. And wow. But there is some reports out there that is saying that the new Charger is, quote-unquote, designed with the idea of swapping in different engines, naming a V8, supposedly. Now, we know that the 6-pack Charger variant is going to have a 6-cylinder twin-turbo. Hence, 6-pack, even though, you know what, yeah, we're not even going there. We know, I know, not happening. Not even close to a real 6-pack. If you are a Mopar fan, that term holds a lot more value than a 6-banger with 2 turbos strapped to it. It might make more power than, you know, a 440 6-pack back in the day, but not the same thing. We're not even going to try and say otherwise. But with that 6-banger architecture that is in there, you think that putting a V8 in there is probably going to be pretty straightforward. And we know that the Charger is a large car. There is going to be mountains of space under the hood of those things for probably almost anything. Namely, obviously, we want to see the Hellcat come back. And thankfully, somebody came to their right state of mind with Kuniskis coming back in as CEO of Ram for now. You have to think that they're going to say, let's make money. Because right now, nobody's buying Dodge or Ram or Jeep, anything. There's so many vehicles sitting on the lot for insane amounts of time. You just know that if he gets his hands on anything, we are going to see supercharged V8s in no time. Which is great, because it's already been too long. It's been a year. And the only downside of this is that the people who bought the last call Dodge this, the whatever, oh, this is the last year of the Hellcat, who paid silly dealer markups, are probably going to hate themselves when they try to resell it and find out that, oops, it's definitely not worth that much money now because they just started making new ones again. Like, who remembers when they came out with the Hellcat again in 2023 for the SRT 8 Jeeps, and people were losing it online because I bought it thinking it was going to be an investment. Well, it's a car. It's not really an investment. You know, it's not a Ferrari 250 GTO. That's an investment. That's going to go up in value. V8 supercharged Hellcat, anything? I'm not so sure. Maybe the 170. That's a different story. But back to this behemoth of a V8 possibility. Yes, that is going to bring down the weight significantly in the new body Charger. If it does get the V8, I can't wait to see what the weight specs are supposed to be for the quote-unquote 6-pack twin-turbo V6. You know it's going to be a lot less than the 5,600 pounds of the EV. So at least that's a step in the right direction. Now, I don't care if you're into small block Chevys, LS-powered Chevys, or even dual overhead cam Fords. We can all agree that America's insatiable love for V8s is very strong. So if and or when the Dodge actually really does get a V8, whether it's just a base Hemi or indeed a Hellcat, which I'm sure it will, you feel like it has to, that's going to be a good day in the automotive world. That is for sure. Because you know what would be really nice right about now? Would be if they stopped selling us cars that they think we want, that the government is telling them we want. Nobody's buying them. Again, unless your EV says Tesla, or, I mean, if it's Chinese and it says BYD or any of the big Chinese ones, and you literally live in China, nobody cares. Nobody's buying them. I don't need to sit here and tell you all the sales stats. They are all over the internet, and the sales figures are absolutely atrocious. You go past any Ford dealership, you will see lines of F-150 Lightnings and Mach-E's. They cannot give them away. One of the local dealerships close to me has 2023 Mach-E's with up to $30,000 off. And that is on a high trim level. But 30 grand off. And like, that's basically giving it away in my mind. They literally can't get rid of them. And I can't seem to find any sales data yet for the newest EV version of the Charger because they aren't even really hitting the lots yet. They are going to be bad. And we know that. We know they're going to be bad. You know, there's going to be some diehard guys that are going to have it, 100%. You're going to see a lot of the huge YouTubers like, oh my God, my first Dodge EV Charger, blah, blah. How's it going to be? You know that those sales are going to happen. But to the general public, you're not, I think it's going to be pretty rare to see them in the wild. And don't get me wrong, I will trash a electric Charger until I'm blue in the face. But on the flip side, we can call it progress and all that other stuff. At the end of the day, it is still an American muscle car. I don't care what's powering it. It is an American muscle car. It is American history. And no matter how you slice it, I am thrilled that at least they have the sense in them to bring us another generation of the Charger. And what that's going to look like down the road. Hopefully it is V8 powered, like I said. But I'm glad that they're keeping the name around. They're keeping the car around. Again, not like the Ford Mach-E where they called it a Mustang at first. Who remembers that? Oh, the Mustang Mach-E. Now it's always just referred to as Mach-E because that was a fail. You just can't do that. You know, unfortunately, this might be the only Dodge Charger that I own. But doesn't that one look a lot cooler? Man's got a dream, you know? Oh, I'd love a real one, don't get me wrong. I'm just not there yet. Everything in my yard is pretty much Chevy and Ford, unfortunately. But getting back to it, so the EV pricing and stuff, they are saying it's going to be somewhere in the $40,000 to $50,000 range, but we know the way options are these days that car, I'm sure, will quickly turn into $60,000, $70,000 plus. And then it just, unfortunately, pins it up against all the other actually good cars in the market. So by doing that right off the hop, I think Dodge is already kind of selling themselves short. And it's really unfortunate. And you know what the most unfortunate thing is? That it's probably easier from the outside looking in as the consumers. We know what we want. We know what we want to buy. You wish that they'd listen to us. You know, between all the forums, Facebook, all the platforms out there right now, there is so much information of people saying what they want to buy, and we will buy what we want to buy. You think that they would maybe do that. But instead they don't. They build us stuff that we don't want. And then ask later why, our sales are terrible. What did we do wrong? I don't know what's happening here. Well, let me just put my clown nose on here. Well, you made us cars that no one wants to buy. But no matter what it looks like, I'm just thrilled that there is, like I said, a next generation of Charger. And I am fingers crossed that there will be a V8 offering at some point. I think it's going to do well if there is, I can tell you that. It certainly can't do any worse than Dodge has been doing these last couple years. That is a guarantee. Those vehicles will sell 100%. And anyway, as usual, like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for staying for some average content.